So like I said, for animals, our first sign we're going to do is the sign for animal itself. And if you remember when we did, I was trying to remember what sign we did with this one. I think we did have before. I think it was kind of like embedded in a sentence before, and that's why. So you're going to have your hands come on top of your armpits. So you're not going into your armpits, you're just going right on top. Okay. And then you're going to flap, almost like you're flapping your wings like a little bird. And this is the sign for animals. Then we have cat. So cat is going to be your pointer finger. Oh, wait, let me pin myself. Sorry, I realized that way too late. Okay, there we go. You're gonna have your pointer finger and your thumb. You're gonna start here, like with an F at the corner of your mouth, and you're gonna pull it out. Like you kind of pinch and come out. Cat. This represents like the whiskers of the cat. Cat. And you do want to make sure you have your other fingers kind of sticking up because that just kind of represents the multiple whiskers. Okay. Then we have dog. So there are technically two ways you can do dog. One is just like a shortened version of the other one. So the first one we're going to do is you're going to pat your leg and then come in a snap. So pat, snap, pat, snap. And the emphasis for that is basically if you think about whenever you're calling your dog, you pat in your legs and or you'll be like, come here and you pat your legs down. So the pat, snap, dog. The other one that people will do is they will just do it's your middle finger and your thumb, and you just bounce your middle finger on top of your thumb. Dog. Dog. If you guys can see that. It's basically snapping, but really, really fast. So it's just bouncing it. Does that make sense? I know that's kind of a weird explanation. I just always think of it as just repeatedly moving. Dog. Then we have fish. So fish is going to be your non-dominant pointer finger, your dominant hand. You're going to stick your pointer finger at the base of your dominant hand, and you're going to go fish. And you're just going to bend your fingers in front. Fish, fish, fish. Sometimes people will do it without the one pointer finger. I kind of see it kind of goes. I think it just kind of depends on how the conversation's going. It's almost like I think of like being a conjunction. I'm gonna say that wrong. When you have two words together, a conjunction word. When you have like can't and won't, those sort of things. So it's kind of just like fish or fish. Okay, let's go back through those. I know it's only like 4, but I want to make sure we get these good. So we had animal, animal. I think this one's really helpful also because when everyone does an animal, whenever they're trying to imitate a bird, it just does this. So I like to think of this just always helping remember it's an animal. Animal. Then we had cat, cat, cat. Then dog. So the first one was the pat and snap. Dog. And then dog. Dog. Most of the time I see this one is kind of like I said, it's like a shortened one. So if you're like this one, you can always just do this one. Then we had fish, fish, fish. Okay. I do want to say the nice thing about fish in most kind of animal science, we'll talk more about this when we do like food, but this is also the sign for like if you eat a type of fish. So if I have a pet fish or eating fish, it's just the same one, fish. Context clues will kind of help piece together if you're talking about an actual pet versus an actual eating food. And sometimes other signs in the sentence will also help with that. But it's just a nice little thing that it doesn't really change. Because some signs will do that, but most of the animal ones will stay consistently the same. Which it's kind of funny because when we first were doing this, I know it's a little bit off, but I'm gonna come back, I promise. When we were first doing it, we did food first. We did the sign for what was it? Pork, like pig and pork. And I remember showing Miss Katie, and it's the same sign for both. And she was horrified. She's like, you just say pig when you're talking about like food? Like, obviously, yes, pork is pig, but like, it was just the funniest, like, interesting kind of conversation, being like, it's just so blunt. We have pork, we have beef, things like that, instead of just saying, oh, we're eating cow meat or things like that. But in ASL, it is very just to the point of, yeah, no, it's cow. I know we're not talking about food. I just think about that every time we do animals. I think we typically will have food before this, and I think that's why my connection came here. But you'll see it when we talk about food. Like, I think it's next week we're doing food. That will show what I'm talking about. So back to our list. We have our next one is bird. So bird is going to be like our sign for 20, but you're going to put like your knuckle on the back of your on your nose. Bird. So you'll put your knuckle right on top of your nose. Bird. Bird. It's like, ow, my goodness, let me turn sideways. My knuckle is right here. So it looks like I'm almost giving myself like a beak. Bird. 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 That is also the sign for chicken. There are a few birds that have their own different sign. We'll go into those later. But this is just the generalized sign for any type of bird or chicken. Bird. Then we have snake. So snake is going to start with your dominant hand kind of in the shape of a V. You're going to bend them. And you're going to start kind of at the base of your chin, like kind of right in front of your mouth. And you're going to go snake. 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 And this is like to represent like the forked tongue and coming out of the mouth. Snake. 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 Okay. Then we have rat. This is rat and mouse, kind of, I see them both kind of use the same. Now, Mickey Mouse is a totally different one. So we would not be signing this for Mickey Mouse. He's got his own little character sign, and it's great. But for any type of rat or mouse, you're going to have your pointer finger, and you're just going to brush it across your nose. Rat. 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 All right. The next one we have is the sign for bug. So bug is, you're going to start with the number 3. You're going to have your thumb go on top of your nose, and you're going to bend your 2 pointer fingers. Bug. And you're like bending them down into that, like, again, that weird like bent V shape again. Bug. And so, like I said, this one's a generalized sign for bug. Specific bugs, there may be a few different signs kind of locally here and there. If you ever are trying to talk about a specific type of bug, you can always just fingerspell. That will never be a problem. Most of the time I see that, because I used to always just fingerspell like cockroach, things like that. I would do bug and then I'd fingerspell. I've only seen a few here and there where there's some people who do have their own local signs of specific types. But it's our little umbrella of bugs. All right. Our next one, and then we'll go back, is spider. So spider does have its own. Spider is going to have your hands kind of in these bent 5s, and you're going to place them on top of each other. And then you're going to wiggle your fingers. And if you look at it, it does kind of look like a spider with all its like little legs crawling out. Spider. I personally love this one. I just think it's really cute. And I don't know. I think I just love like the constant wiggling of the legs. I'm not a big bug person, but I think this one is a very, very cute one. Spider. Okay. So let's go back. We had bird. 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 Then we had snake. 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 Then rat or mouse. Rat. Rat. Then bug. Bug. And then spider. 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 Okay, I am going to add here, because I know this question is probably going to come up sooner or later. When you're talking about a specific type of breed or species of an animal, for example, if you're talking about a, like from when we did dogs, if you're talking about a beagle or a golden retriever, things like that, how would you express those? They do not have their own individual sign. You would have to fingerspell them. So with that comes a lot of times with animals, the more specific you get about a type of bird type of animal, you do typically have to fingerspell. You can't always do colors. So like, I'm trying to think, if you're talking about, I know there's like a snake called yellow bellied or red bellied. I don't know. I'm trying to remember what they are. But you could do the color red and then be like fingerspell really fast, like belly snake, to help you with talking about the specific types. But most of the time, the more specific you go, you are going to have to fingerspell, unfortunately. It's really fun when you have very long names of different types of dogs, or there's some other ones I'm trying to remember. There was one kind of animal that I remember was like a really long name. And I was like, I would not be excited. So I have to fingerspell all of that whole thing. Yeah. I wish that there were some really cool specific like signs for like different types of dogs, but unfortunately they're not. I think I have seen some people like, if you're consistently talking about the same one, maybe being like using a like shortened letter. But again, that is not the actual sign for it. It's just kind of almost like when you, yeah, what's the word? Give your own like little nickname. It's almost like a nickname. So it's not a real name, it's not a real sign, but it is used to help kind of with the conversation. Sometimes I'll do that if I'm trying to like, I'm talking about like my sister or talking about my dog, and I'm just tired of doing the constant finger spelling. I may just do a specific like dog and then H for him because I have two dogs. And that way they know I'm still talking about him, but it's not like it's a name sign or anything. It's just kind of key clues to help, if that makes sense. Okay, let's do another 5. And then what we'll do after that, I'll see if you guys have any questions and then we'll keep going. Okay. Let's see. All right. So the next one we have is the sign for turtle. So you're going to have your dominant hand and a thumbs up. Your non-dominant is kind of making this like curled. It's not really a C, it's like a curl. You're going to come on the back of it, of your dominant hand. And then you just wiggle your thumb. Turtle. I think this is another one of those really cute ones because it just looks like a little turtle popping its head out of its shell. Think it is so stinking cute. I used to sign this one all the time with my like friends who had the ASL class with me in high school. We just look at each other and we just go turtle. No reason, no context clues of whatever we were talking about. It was just turtle because we just loved it so much. With that, if you are talking about like a sea turtle, I have seen some people do where they'll have their dominant and non-dominant hands kind of placed like this. Non-dominant's down, dominant comes on top, and then they move their hands, their thumbs. Sea turtle. I have seen this one. I typically do this one more than anything, but I think that's also just a total preference. Okay, the next one we have is tiger. So tiger is going to be these open, like kind of 5s again, with them slightly bent. You're going to start right here in front of your face, and you're going to go tiger, tiger, tiger. I think this one's pretty, we can kind of catch on the stripes. So tiger, tiger. That one's a really fun one to sign with kids because you can do like this whole like coming out like in their face, like it's really fun. Okay. The next one is lion. So lion's gonna be again that slightly bent 5. You're gonna start here on the top of your head and you're gonna go lion. You shake it very gently and go back down your hair. Lion, lion. And this is because of the lion's mane and it being very thick and lots of hair. Lion. Okay. Then we have bear. So bear is going to be bear. So it's like, again, that 5, and you're across and just slightly pull up from your shoulders. Bear. Bear. If you were going to do a polar bear, grizzly bear. Black bear's kind of easy. I think we've sent out the colors video. Have we done that yet, guys? Have you guys gotten a video? It's of me signing the colors since we've kind of had it on its own. There should be a video. I think we sent it earlier in the class a couple weeks ago with the colors. That will be helpful when you're talking about different types of animals. But what I was gonna say for grizzly bear and polar bear, you can just finger spell them. Sometimes if it's just you could do white bear. But again, it might be a little bit confusing because we don't really call it a white bear, we call it a polar bear. You can do that to help if that is something like you're trying to just figure out. I always like to think if you really need to get this point across, it needs to be really specific, then you can. But I would recommend finger spelling polar and like grizzly bear. Okay, let's do one more. Cow. So cow is going to be thumb and pinkies on both sides. You're going to have your thumbs go on the sides, kind of like right at your temples. And you're going to go cow, 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 cow. Some people will do just one hand too. That is fine. You can either do two or one hand. I've seen both ways. Cow, cow. Fun fact, if you were talking about a cowboy, you can do literally cow and then boy when we did people. So cowboy or cowgirl. I always thought that was really cool when we learned it. I was like, oh, we could put those together. Okay. So let's go back through those five. We had turtle, turtle. And then we also had sea turtle, which was sea turtle. Then tiger, tiger, tiger. Then lion, lion, lion. Then bear, bear. And then our cow, 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 or cow. Okay. Are there any questions you guys as of right now with our signs or our animals? I mean, there's only 3 of you, so that's totally fine. I feel like I'm so used to there being like a big group that I'm like, I have to make sure everyone's had a chance to type. And I'm like, there's only 3 of you. So if we move on and then you think of something, you're more than welcome to type it in the chat. So we can always stop and do that. Okay, let's move on. So the next one I have is the sign for horse. Horse is very similar to cow in the sense of you can use 2 hands or 1. I'm going to show you it both ways anyways. So you're going to have the 3 fingers. You're going to put your 2 together, put your thumbs again on your temple, and you go horse, horse. And it's like the ears. They're little ears. Horse, horse. Some people will do the one hand. I can admit I do the one hand sometimes. If I'm trying to be really animated and dramatic, I'll do the 2 hands, but most of the time it's one hand. Horse. Horse. Then we have monkey. Monkey is exactly what you probably think it is. Monkey. Monkey. I love that this is one like we've just all done since we were kids. And so I was like, yes, obviously we're all gonna know this one. Monkey. Then we have giraffe. So giraffe is you're going to really want to angle your head kind of pointing up already. You're going to start with a big open C at the base of your neck. And you're going to go giraffe, giraffe, giraffe. And then you just kind of pretend like it just is so long it keeps going. Giraffe. I love the fact that some of these signs are very like, when you see them, you're like, oh, that makes sense. Like a giraffe has the very long neck. Like that's iconic. Well, of course, it's going to have something related. I love it because it makes it easier to help kind of like stick it and remember it. So, okay, our next one is elephant. So elephant is going to start with the back of your hand on your nose like this. and you're going to go elephant. I'll back us up. Elephant. Elephant. So obviously you can think of what this connects to, its trunk and how it curves and comes up. Elephant. Elephant. Hmm? Okay. The next one I have is pig. So pig is going to have, again, the back of your hand. You're going to have the back go under your chin. Sorry, I know I'm pointing to, that's just me being extra. You're going to have it on the back of your chin, under your chin, and you're going to bring your 4 fingers together. Pig. Pig. So like I was saying earlier about food, this is also pork. When you're talking about the type of specific meat, you would just, I know, trust me. It's one of those very like, oh, this is why I was like, I realized I was talking when we were talking about what animal we were talking about, where I immediately thought of it, and I could see you guys were like, I don't get what she's talking about. I was like, hold on, wait till we hit pig, then you'll see what I mean. Pig. Okay, then we have gorilla. So gorilla is going to be gorilla. Gorilla. Another one. Okay. Let's see. Then we have, trying to see how many times. We'll do one more and then I promise we'll review. The next one is zebra. And so zebra is going to have the numbers 4. You're going to start with one kind of up on your shoulder. The other one's kind of lower down. And you're going to go across. Zebra. Zebra. let me see if I can back up. Because I typically make the motion of like zebra. Like it's just stripes all the way down. Zebra. Zebra. Okay. So we had horse, which was horse. Just always think about the little ears because, they have really tiny ears. If you actually look at them long enough and think about it, they do. Then we had monkey, which was monkey. Then giraffe. 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 Then elephant. 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 Then pig. 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 And then gorilla. Gorilla. And then zebra. 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 Okay. So now we're going to get into some more kind of, I say this and I know we're going to end up having an animal that's not this, more of the aquatic animals. That's what I wanted to say. Okay. So the first one we're going to do is the sign for dolphin. There are about 3 different ways you can do it. Really, all 3 are very similar. It's just slight changes of how you would do it. Okay. So the first one is going to be, you're going to have your non-dominant arm sideways like this. Your dominant hand is going to start in that 3 with the closed 2 fingers together. And you're going to go like kind of put your hands sideways like this. And you're going to go dolphin. 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 I think these are so fun because it's literally just the visual of a dolphin jumping out of the water. Dolphin. Okay. The other one is going to be the same kind of position. And these 2, except now they're going to be crossed, like the fingers are crossed. Dolphin. I don't know necessarily what the difference is. I always do this one. I don't know why I picked this one. So it's just crossed fingers instead. Dolphin. And then the third one will be sometimes they'll do like just the open hand and do dolphin. Don't see that one often. I saw it like once or twice, probably way back in like high school. I see more of this one or the crossed fingers. Dolphin. Okay. Our next one is going to be whale. So we're going to have our arm right back here again. It doesn't necessarily matter too much if your thumb is pointing up or down. Sometimes mine will point up, sometimes mine will point down. That's not necessarily the big focus. So your non-dominant arm is across. Your dominant hand is going to be the shape of a Y. You're going to put it on your bicep. Okay, like this. I always think about like when you're putting a phone, like one of those really not old, but like when we used to be able to put it in this little connector thing, it's like into your bicep. And then you're gonna bring it out and slam it down. So whale. Again, this one, if you think about it, again, it's that visual of when a whale is up close to the surface, it'll smack its tail on the water, is that kind of motion. Whale. Whale. Okay. For those two, I do want to add, typically when you're doing them, if you're feeling like this is like a lot of effort having your arm up here, they are typically lower, like right here, where it's more that comfortable. But obviously, as you can tell, you can't see my hand at all when I do it in like the typical position. So I lift it up a little higher for you guys to see. So it's not always really up high and close to your face like this. It's more down low, kind of, I say a little bit lower on your chest level. And then you would still do that same motion. Okay. Our next one is going to be a shark. There are two ways you can do shark. One of them is more common, but I do always like to put on the air of caution just because if you don't do it exactly one way, it can be a little bit of a not nice word. So I'm going to show you that one first, get it off the bat just so you know it. You're going to have a bee, and you're going to put it right on top of your head. Shark. You do not want to come close to your forehead at all with that bee. It is not a nice word. You would be really hurting someone's feelings if you said that to someone. So, shark. The other way is you're going to have your non-dominant hand kind of in that Spock position, sideways like this, if you see, and your dominant hand's that same bee. You're going to put in between like this, and you go shark. So again, it's the why am I forgetting? The fin, the dorsal fin. I literally love how I drew a blank on that. The dorsal fin kind of cut in the water. Does that make sense? Shark. I do admit I see this one a lot more. I used to try to be very stubborn about, I'm not doing that one. I'm only going to do this one because I don't want to have a mishap like that. But this one, that's all I ever see. Shark. Okay. Our next one is going to be a frog. So frog is similar to pig, okay? You're going to start kind of like, it's like your pointer finger and your middle finger look like they're about to flick out like this, okay? And you're going to stick your hand under and do that. Frog. 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 I have seen this one also with toad. I know there's a difference between frog and toad, and I'm sure there's a sign that's different for toad. I typically do this and then I finger spell toad. I have not seen a sign necessarily. And it may just be we just don't talk about toads enough, but I typically would always do this and then just go toad. And I'm sorry for anyone who's a big, like, there's a big difference between frog and toad. I'm sorry. That's how it works over here. Okay. Our next one is going to be alligator. Alligator is very, very easy. It is alligator with the big dramatic hands. Yep, alligator. Again, this is another one I also see for crocodile. Typically, again, it's you would do this and then crocodile with the C. Sometimes you can do oh my goodness, excuse me, like when I'm having a conversation, I'm talking about like, oh, I saw this at the zoo or things like that. And I'm saying like a crocodile. I would be like this, and then I would go like see croc. I would just finger spell like a croc. Because they do know when you're doing this and then croc, that typically means a crocodile. Okay, let's do one more and then we will go review. All right, the next one I have is penguin. And penguin, there we go, is super cute. It's kind of hard to see, again, because it's kind of one of the more standing one. You'll stand, you'll have your hands kind of like bent out like this, and then you waddle like hip to hip. Hold on, let me see if I can back up in this little small room. Penguin. It is super cute. I love this one, even if it is hard to show on Zoom. Okay. So let's go back to the ones we had. We had dolphin. So dolphin, dolphin, or with the fingers crossed, dolphin. And you want to make sure it's behind your non-dominant. So like it's sticking forward and going in. Yeah. Then we had whale, whale, whale. Then shark. So we had shark and shark. Frog, frog. And you do want to make sure it goes right under your chin. Frog. Then alligator, alligator. And then our penguin, penguin with a little hand sticking out. Penguin. I love whenever doing this one because since it's hard to do in Zoom, everyone's heads just go back and forth. Penguin. Okay. So our next little list is going to be, or the next one on our list is going to be duck. So duck is going to be the same as our bird, except now it's got 2 fingers. So duck, duck, duck. Ooh, duck, duck. Then we have, ooh, my list went weird for a minute. Sorry. We have rabbit. And rabbit is going to be, so you're going to start again, kind of like if you remember when we did our frog, kind of that like almost about to flick our fingers out motion. You're going to cross and go rabbit, 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 rabbit. And it's kind of like that cross and then flick out. I think it's to be more again the whiskers. This one I've always, or the ears. Why did I think whiskers? That one's one of those interesting ones to me that kind of took me a minute to like wrap my head around. Rabbit. And even though I'm kind of sticking them out, you do kind of keep them close to you. Rabbit. Rabbit. Okay. The next one is butterfly. So butterfly is going to be, you're going to have your hands crossed, thumbs together, and go butterfly. 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 Then we have, sorry, there we go. Then we're going to get kind of more into our like woodsy animals. I just say this so you guys kind of have that mindset. We have fox. So fox is going to be an F, and your nose is going to go right here. And you're going to go bouncing it back a bit. Fox. Fox. Then we have wolf. So wolf is going to be kind of a 5 in your face, and you pull out. Wolf, 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 wolf. And that's connected to its snout to show that it's long. Wolf. You do want to make sure that you do go out and not just like in down, because this means sleep. When you go just straight down, that means sleep. So wolf, wolf. Okay. Then we have deer. So deer is going to have the numbers 5. You're going to start on the side of your head again, and you're going to go deer, deer, deer. And I'm going to tell you now, deer and moose are very similar. I see them flipped a lot. I'm sure Miss Katie would correct me at this point if I would, because sometimes I will say this is deer, where's the bouncing, and sometimes I just say this with the 5 is deer. I do kind of see those interchange a bit. And the reason I say that interchange is because the opposite would be moose. So think now that I'm thinking about it, I typically try to keep this one deer, and this one is moose. Moose. Because their antlers are just so big. Moose. So deer. And then moose. Moose. So deer, moose, moose. I don't know why I flip them back every time, but I feel like every class I change it and then I go, wait a minute, no, I keep it this way. So that's why I had to come in and be like, no. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I'm doing them again, the same flipping. Okay. Then we have raccoon. So raccoon is going to be two twos. You're going to have them kind of in front of your eyes and you close them. Raccoon. 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 I do this thing. I think this one's kind of cute. Raccoon. Okay. Let's see. That was a good bit. So let's go back. We did duck. Remember which was duck with the two. Duck. And then we had rabbit. 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 Butterfly. Butterfly. Then fox. 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 Wolf. 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 Then we had our deer. Deer. And then moose. 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 And then raccoon. Raccoon. Okay. I have my last little bit. I think it's about, let me see, 7 more on my list. And then after that, I'll leave it open for you guys if you have any animals you can think of that we did not touch. So, there's not really a theme with them. They're just kind of hodgepodge, mixed all together. So the next one I have is goat. So goat is going to be that same sort of thing we did for our frog with that flicking motion. Now this time though, you're going to have your thumb rest on your chin. Wait, there we go. I do this every time. You tap and then you come to your forehead and flick up. Goat. Goat. I always flick bottom and top and I'm like, no, and that's because I'm doing it slow and that's why. But you tap and then go forehead up. Goat. Goat. Because the 2 represents the horns, and then coming down here, the chin represents like the billy goat, gruff kind of thing. Goat. The next one I have is sheep. So sheep is going to have your non-dominant arm kind of, it's more comfortable down here. I'm lifting it so you guys can see. And you're going to go with kind of pretend like you're make-believe scissors, and you're going to go sheep. Sheep. And this is because of the shearing for wool. Sheep. 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 Okay. The next one I have is squirrel / chipmunk. They're kind of the same. It's going to be those 2. So it's like the V's. You bend them down and put them on top and go squirrel. Squirrel or chipmunk. It's just a little fingers. Okay. Then we have bat. So bat is going to be 2 X's. Go and bring them across. Bat. Sometimes you can kind of tap it. Bat. Bat. What helps me with that one is if you think about it, when a bat is sleeping, it's crossed up with its little hooks kind of on either side. That's what I think of. Okay. Then we have dinosaur. So I know that, like, I know dinosaurs are extinct, but I still like to think of this one because I think it's really, really cute. So you're going to have your non-dominant arm across like this, and your dominant is going to be in the shape of a D, and you're going to go dinosaur, dinosaur, dinosaur. There's not really any specific ones I've seen for like different types of dinosaurs. Obviously a T-Rex would just be T and then Rex. Very simple. Any other fancy ones you're talking about, you would have to finger spell. This was the type. Remember how I said a little bit earlier in the class when I said there's a type when you're talking about specific types of names for animals and they're really, really long, and I do not like always having finger spell. It was dinosaurs, the different types of dinosaurs. Can you imagine having a finger spell all those really long names? It's a lot. And I unfortunately had a few students who really loved dinosaurs, and I too love dinosaurs. And I'm like, have you heard of this one? And I'll finger spell, and they're just like, what? And I'm like, hold on, what am I doing? And I'll just have to put it up on my screen because I'm like, I can't with this right now. I can't. That was what it was. I was like, I know there's a type of species that the names are just really long, and it's that. It was dinosaurs. Okay. My last, no, two more. The next one I have is dragon. I know dragons are not real, but it's a fun one. And you're going to have kind of the back of your hand go in front of your mouth, and you're going to go dragon, dragon. So it's like the flames coming out. Dragon, dragon, dragon. Okay. And then my last one, I don't know if we've done this one before, Miss Katie, or not. So this may be a new one for you too. And it's unicorn. I don't think we've done this one often. I just wanted to add it here because I was thinking about it earlier. It's going to be an R, and you're yeah, exactly, yeah, unicorn. So you do kind of bend it more, but it's unicorn. Yeah, I love how fast you're like. Wait a minute, I know where this is going. Unicorn. I do think they're really cute. I have a couple of kids who get really excited whenever they see any kind of pictures of a unicorn, and I'm telling you there are some that are just the really like the cutest things. They're like this tall and they're just like and I mean they will gasp loud, like it's not quiet, and you're just like, what is wrong? You think someone's hurt, and then they go point, and they're like, unicorn. Like they lose their minds, and it is so cute. So I thought I would add that one there. Okay, let's go back through those again, and then I'll leave it open for you guys. So we had goat, which was goat, goat, goat. Then sheep, sheep, sheep. Then squirrel, squirrel. Bat, bat. And remember, it is that one. It's just those little claws. Bat. Dinosaur, dinosaur, dinosaur. Then dragon, dragon, dragon. And then our unicorn, unicorn. Okay. Are there any types of animals you can think of that we've not done yet? Now, a reminder, the more specific you get, the less likely there may be a sign for it. Just because, again, like I was saying before, well, I actually didn't talk about this, but I'll add this here. If it's more common, I've seen them more likely to have a sign. There's a few that will have signs that are kind of like outliers, but if it gets really, really, really specific, it's finger spelled. Let's see. No, we did not do owl. Okay, that's a good one. Yes. So owl is going to be two O's. You're going to have them in front of your eyes and you go owl. 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 Some of them are just really, really cute. I have not actually seen a sign for a possum before. I'm trying to think. if like, because I think I've just always fingerspelled possum, but I'm not gonna rule that out of not having one, especially in the South. I feel like we've got to have some kind of wait, no, yes. Now I'm thinking about it's like, okay, don't quote me on this. I will have to go back and check it again, but I'm pretty sure because I've seen it, but again, not often enough. It's like you have it hanging, like it's hooked on your pointer finger, like a possum hanging upside down. I will check on that. Let me put that here because I feel like that one I need to check. Where can I not type opossum? There we go. But if I remember correctly, it has something to do with because of them hanging upside down. Um, I know that this is technically in itself uh hanger, but I think when it comes to an animal, it does like a very similar thing. I will check on that one. We did do butterfly. If you were gonna do something like a moth, if you're talking about a moth, I would just fingerspell moth. You could do butterfly and then moth, but I would really just do moth because it's shorter and well, yes, they're similar. I could see them being like having to totally change gears of thinking of a butterfly to a moth. I could see a big change on that one. I'm trying to see if there's any more on my list. Okay. Um, so sloth, panda, or koala. I have not really seen many often for sloth. I've seen that one finger spelled. We do kind of see that one a little bit more finger spelled. Panda, they've done something related with the bamboo. I just finger spell panda, but there I've seen a few times where they do it related to like the bamboo, and like they're eating the bamboo. But again, that one's not as often I've seen it. I just see more panda. Koala is the same thing. I've seen just finger spelled koala. Zoo. Zoo is going to be Z-O-O. Zoo. I wish there was a more fun sign for zoo, but it's just zoo. Um, if you do ever go to the zoo, that is always a fun, like little practice, like challenge to you guys to kind of look at the animal and be like, what was the sign for that one again? I like to do that, especially when I'm on the field trips with my students there. It's a lot of fun. Any other animals you can think of? I'm trying to think of any others that I've forgotten too. Let's see. Oh, that's a good one. Okay. If you were talking about baby animals, luckily, in English, we have different names and different words for them. In ASL, it is not the case. You are just going to sign baby and then add the sign to it. So like when you're talking about a baby kitten, or a kitten, you do baby cat, baby cat. Um, baby dog or baby dog. It's just adding that baby beforehand. It does help a little bit. Makes it a little bit easier so you're not having to try to remember the different signs for each different baby of the animal, while on top of also trying to learn all of the animal signs as well. Let's see. Oh, here's a good one. Lizard. I was like scrolling through my other list. I was like, we've had others. Lizard. So lizard is going to have your arm, non-dominant arm across. You're going to have your dominant in the shape of an L, and you're going to go lizard. So you're going to like slither the L up your arm. Lizard, lizard, lizard. I typically will use that one when I'm talking about a gecko or what's the other one? Salamander, newt. I will do that one and then I'll finger spell them just to be like specific. Sometimes if I'm just I think it helps kind of make that connection easier what type of animal you're talking about. But you can always just finger spell like newt and those things. Yes, we did do whale and dolphin. Okay, here's an interesting one that's on my list from before. A bee. So I learned it was bee. You just finger spell B-E-E. Like I was talking about the bugs earlier, I just said it's kind of just a generalized like umbrella for all the types of bugs except spiders because they do have their own. Bee I have seen have its own, and it's bee. B. Like you have like the stinger and then you swat it. B, B, B. I do think that one's kind of an interesting one. I just love the fact that it's literally talking about being like you getting stung and then like the slapping of it away. B, B. Let's see, what else? Oh, here's one. Turkey. So turkey is going to be, you're gonna have a Q and you're gonna put it under your chin and go turkey. Turkey. So you just shake it back and forth. Turkey. And again, this is another one of those ones that if you're talking about the actual bird turkey or the actual food turkey, you would sign both that turkey. Turkey. Are there any others you can think of? I'm still looking at my list. It's always changing, so I'm always trying to see if there's any others we forgot. Any you guys can think of. Wait. I see you mouthing, but I am not good at reading unless I'm sitting here like I can't not figure that one out. Give her a minute. I want to see what.
Okay. Coyote.
Oh, a coyote.
Because I have one and I would love to get rid of it.
Interesting. I actually have not seen a sign for a coyote.
Okay.
But I won't rule it out. Again, you know, the thing that's nice with ASL is like not necessarily, like I said, like regional. Certain signs will be certain words will have signs. So I'm wondering if there is another one. I will look into that one though. Coyote.
Are elk and moose the same?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If you want to be specific, you just add that elk. When you're talking about moose, since moose is already assumed there, you leave it. But elk, I would add that ELK there. Miss Katie also had one more good one, and it was pet. So when you're talking about having a pet, you're going to have your non-dominant in an S, and it's going to be kind of facing down. Your dominant is going to pet the back of your hand. Pet. Pet. This is also for petting an animal too. So it's talking about pets, but also petting an animal. And if you guys remember when we talked about family, when we said that listing kind of motion, you would do the same thing for talking about pets if you have more than one. So like for me, I have two. So I would do this, and then I would sign what type of animal they were. So I'd be like dog, dog, pointing to both. So that's just a little helpful kind of comment and tidbit. Good. A favorite pet or favorite animal. So what you're gonna do is, and then we'll do the sentence my favorite animal is. And that's how we'll end it, because I know we're just kind of throwing a lot of them. Is, my goodness, I have all these hiccups. The sign for favorite is gonna be your middle finger, and you're gonna tap your chin. Favorite. And you do want to make sure all of your other fingers are sticking up. So it's literally just like your middle fingers down. Favorite. Favorite. So you would do favorite animal. Now, if you were going to say what your favorite animal is, you would go my favorite animal. Interestingly, well, okay, I'm gonna pause. The reason I say this, there's two ways you can do it. One way is kind of something you'll see more often, and that's why I was trying not to start doing this because I didn't want to like overwhelm you guys, but I am going to show you just because you might see it. When talking about your favorite things or anything like that, sometimes what'll happen is you may do my favorite animal, what? Like you add that what in there to kind of show like you are saying what, and then you tell them. So like, for example, I'm going to do my sentence, for example, okay? I would go shark. So if you notice where I said my favorite animal, what? A shark. Like I answer it for you. Sometimes they'll do that. Sometimes, I mean, when I say they, sometimes even I'll do that, is I'll do that what, and then I'll respond. but also doing it just straight, my favorite animal, shark, will work too. I just wanted to kind of expose y'all to that, just in case you notice that someone does do like favorite food, what? And then they answer. That's what they're meaning. They're still saying what they're still telling you. It's not like they're asking you, do you know what my favorite food is? No, no, no. They are, I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of hard to explain, but I did want to just kind of expose that to you so you know it. I know that was very interesting, probably weird to explain, but just a little bit of that. So you would do my favorite animal and then yours. So I think because we have 2 minutes left, um, do you guys want to try to sign your favorite animals, or would you prefer to be like, no, no, we're good? Trying to see. Oh, hold on. I think my internet's kind of cutting out a bit. Would y'all prefer to do this one as my favorite animal, and then what your favorite animal is? I think it'd be a fun little challenge, and I'll help you guys for sure. Okay, so, Diane, you are my first one on the list. And I want, if you have an animal that's complicated, you can just pick an easy one too.
Okay.
Mhm.
Is that right?
Mhm.
Is.
Oh, good. All right, awesome. My next one is Susan. Oh, yes, another dog. Yes. Okay. Or a squirrel. Oh, or a chipmunk, whichever one, all those. Okay, perfect. Next one I have is Will. I know you kind of joined late, so it's totally fine. Is a squirrel. Good. Awesome. Okay. And then I think because I know Miss Katie's got her screen off and Morgan has hers, so we won't push it. Not push it. Move on. We'll leave it be. Cannot talk tonight, girl. But awesome, awesome, awesome. That's always a fun one to do is telling people what your favorite animal is. And just the start when you're having one of those conversations. So, all right. Are there any other questions you guys have? Oh, wait. Miss Katie, do you want to do yours? You showed up. I was like, I'm gonna catch it.
Okay, I show me favorite one more time.
Favorite.
Favorite.
Mhm.
Great. Okay. Yes, hang on, I'm gonna from here. Yes, 14.
Mhm.
There. Okay.
Is a cat. Oh, I love it. I love it. I know mine was very different. I'm sure y'all were not expecting me to go shark right over here, but that has been, I could see when I did it, you guys kind of like all were like, oh, yeah, it's been a favorite of mine since I was like a little kid. Like I genuinely can't remember it not being my favorite animal. Like whatsoever. Even I asked my parents at one point, I was like, when did I start becoming like obsessed with sharks? And they're like, I really don't know. You just suddenly did. Like your favorite animal is a shark, and that was it. And I was like, okay. So,
Good enough.
right? It's always interesting. It always throws people off. They're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, it's my little fun fact. But alrighty. Are there any last minute questions you guys have? Anything like that? Or are we good?
You're good.
All right, perfect. If you guys do have any other questions, obviously we have class next Tuesday. So you can either email them to Miss Katie or you can hold them until next week. Was I right when saying food is next week?
Yep.
Yes. Okay, so be warned, either eat a snack beforehand or be ready to be hungry because it always happens, especially to me. All right. Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of y'all's week, and I will see you guys all next Tuesday. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.